Yeah, so speaking of TikTok in itself, now they, for what seems like the fourth time over the last like calendar month, rebranded their creator fund, creator program. It went from beta to creator rewards, and they kind of like hyped up a little bit of this launch about how they're going to incentivize obviously longer videos, which they've been kind of on that precipice for a while, how it's going to get everybody more views and going to pay creators more money and whatnot. And us, I will say, we switched over. I think it took place on like March 17th or 18th. We haven't seen any sort of increase in monetary
or
funds.
decrease.
It's been, I would say we're closer to a decrease than we are an increase.
And is that just once this change? I spoke to a couple people on TikTok who had their CPM drop over the last few months or so.
Yeah.
Has yours been as consistent from when we were originally talking about it?
Like first originally?
Yeah.
No. When we first started and we were like hitting it.
It was what, like $1 something?
It was like $1.09. We're at like 63 cents. Right
Okay,
now.
so it's down.
It's dropped
70%.
For sure. We've dropped significantly. That's not all from just this
Yeah.
changeover. But
Yeah.
but what I did find kind of interesting is they had this screen that they showed us that said your weekly video view booster report is ready. So basically with this program is what they're saying is if you have videos that are over a minute, we are going to boost them and we're going to give you more views than you would have normally had. So you'll see this chart. It'll be like, hey, this is what your videos normally got. We gave you an extra like 30, 40,000 views on the video. And I'm like, I don't believe you, to be honest with you, because all the videos end up with the same view counts that we had normally had up to when they just swapped over this creativity program. I'm also seeing in the Big Content Discord, which if you're not in there, you could join, a couple people are talking about how like their RPMs just sunk right around the time that this stuff started happening. So I don't know what they're doing. I guess my main point or like my just disappointment is like, okay, it's just another thing that they're like, this is happening for creators. We're putting more money into it. And it's like, we are like the ideal creator for you. Every single day we're putting out 2 to 3 videos that are, 3 to 7 minutes long. People are watching.
Keeping people on the platform.
Out of them,
Watch it.
Nothing. No sort of boost. Like if anything, if we looked at a linear line of when we started doing that to now, it's like that.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to say about the.
I feel like the big takeaway is what we've always said on the show, which is
rely on them.
You just can't rely on them. It's great, but this is where you kind of keep the main thing the main thing. You should continue to build out trivia content, but if the only reliant was the creativity fund, that would be a bad move.
Yeah.
So where are you at monthly? Because I feel like your cadence has gone up.
It's on here.
I
somewhere.
can't. Oh.
So this is the last month, $4,000. And I think, again, when we started, it was probably closer to 6,000 or 7,000. So it's been down. We've had months where I think it's been down at like 33, 35.
But I feel like where's viewership been? I feel like it's gone up based off the cadence. Like I feel like there was a point in time over the summer where you guys would only get like 100K a trivia video. And now it feels like it's back up in that 500K million range. No,
not
some of them.
Some of them, sure. Here, definitely less frequently than when it started. I would say I think if we put out 10 trivias, I would say like 4 to 5 of them probably land at like $150.
Okay.
And maybe a few higher than that. But like overall, yeah, I mean, it's just getting more and more saturated. There are definitely more like trivia accounts. There are more people that just eventually get bored of it, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about the longevity of it. But again, it goes back to the point of this had always been a concern of mine where I was like, I don't believe this. These numbers are so high, they don't make sense to me at all. But we did launch a Snapchat.
I know. I heard. We'll get to the hostile takeover in a minute. I'm curious about YouTube. What have you seen over the same time period? Now, remember, football-centric brand. Football season is August through. It's obviously not super reliant on it, but I think people are more keen to watch football during football season.
YouTube's back to like it's like normal YouTube growth.
Yeah.
Like you got to work for the fucking subs that you get, kind of thing.
Got it. Okay.
So like when we started out, right, we had like the 30,000 subs within like a month or two.
Yeah. But that was a lot just feeding from TikTok, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's like we kind of like blew that up from the rip, and now I think we're gonna hit 40K in like maybe today. Actually,
nice.
we're about to hit 40K, but it's like back to the.
But what about viewership and AdSense? Has that maintained?
AdSense has pretty much stayed the same, which is nice. Viewership has declined a little bit.
Okay.
I'm thinking partly maybe it's because we have the vlogs on the channel, so like new subscribers to trivia might be less interested in seeing it.
Yeah.
Overall, just I think there's probably just a little bit of
how's that compared to TikTok for revenue purposes?
Revenue on AdSense is probably like 7K still around there. So that one's still a really good money driver for us. We're still putting a lot of attention to it, but the subscriber growth has dropped down. We have implemented more. I actually let JMO and Sexy kind of take over trivia meetings to keep injecting new innovative ideas.
Yeah.
One thing we are toying with, and this is something I think a lot of creators deal with, is the balance or the internal fight of like more or less at higher quality.
Yeah.
So it's something that we're thinking about with YouTube, where it's like, because right now, I mean, we have, I think, 7 videos a week. Like every single day, we pretty much have something going up on the trivia channel where it's like, and I've done a couple of videos myself where I've edited them, and I made sure I went like kind of all out to make sure that they were like a different experience and like well done. And we've gotten really good feedback from the numbers on those. And I'm like, it might make sense to pull back and focus on really high quality production and maybe get 3 or 4 videos out a week and maybe change the cadence and see if that does anything for us. I'm not really sure what the answer is. A lot of it goes back to like, it's YouTube. It's always going to be a grind.
Yeah.
Like you got to work for those fucking subs kind of thing, you know?
What's the opportunity cost in your opinion of you mentioned the vlog. So if you guys don't know, on the trivia channel, Nick's team, bdge, does a weekly vlog, which gets less viewership than the trivia, but same personalities. There's definitely a crossover. We've taken an approach of new content, new channel, right? But then like we did a mystery box opening on kind of our main YouTube channel, which isn't a perfect fit, but we think like a fair crossover. What do you think the opportunity cost is, knowing if you start a new channel, the first vlog's getting 1,000 views and you're not getting up to 20K views for a very long time, right? Barstool is at 20K views on a bad vlog, and they've got millions of subs. So but
I haven't even seriously considered moving the vlogs over at all. I think it would have to get to the point where we have maybe 200,000 subs on trivia, and those are all getting 60 to 70K views per video, and the vlogs are down at like 7K, 4K, 3K or something like that. I haven't really considered it seriously at all, just because even our floor vlogs will get about 10K. By the end of the week, it'll get 10K, and I'm like, that is a fucking powerful number and a powerful amount of people.
I guess the question is, what if you remove a vlog, how much does that impact? We don't know the answer, but like, dude, if every video is getting 30, you think it now gets 40 because CTR is higher. And
that's a good question. Yeah, that I wouldn't even. I look at it the other way around, where I'm like, if we removed them, what is the long-term opportunity cost of no longer having them there, rather than like, will it make the other content better in a way? It was more of just thinking about maybe stuff that could be, tinkering with the numbers there, or making it. I do think it's a lot of probably just over, what's it called? Like
over posting?
Yeah, like over
too much content.
Just a ton of fucking content going out, And listen, if we have stuff that goes out every day and they all get 20,000 views, like that's really strong numbers.
Very.
So I try not to overthink it in a sense, but eventually you do see like, okay, dwindling down a little bit. How do we change it? Is it?
I really think, I know you haven't taken my advice yet, but if you're doing daily content, at some point it becomes evergreen and you change up the titles and
we have done that a little bit, and we saw some good boosts here and there. Yeah,
I think you create a bank of content. That to me, if you guys are thinking about creating YouTube content like that, and for any content, I think creating a bank of content is where YouTube becomes successful. Don't think about what it's going to get in the first week. Obviously optimize for that, but that kind of shifts how we think about, right? We were going to every Thursday night football game, but what we realized was like Rams Saints Thursday night, week 14, like what's the intrigue in that? There's zero. The second that game is over, maybe it has one storyline, but by next week there's a new game. Versus now, a lot of our content, we're going to be doing stuff where like if we go to a game in Brazil or we go to like the biggest college football rivalry, that can live for the next 3-4 years. And it's crazy to think, but like it might not get views until 3 years later. But then it just is. For content that you're creating that is so bankable, that is so evergreen, it's worth thinking about.
We did, yeah. We had a call and we were basically like, let's take 10 videos and change them, because we went pretty specific. Our channel was so brand heavy that doing shit like Gut takes down J-Mo in trivia, and it would get like 40,000 views, and I'm like, that's not real life. You know, like normally on YouTube, that's not going to work.
I feel like I'm going to just quote the Jesser stuff, but he literally said, do you know Patty Galloway?
Yeah.
It's like one of the best YouTube experts ever. He started working with Jesser, and Jesser was doing daily vlogs, and his first piece of advice was like, while this is great for your audience, and you open with an inside joke, and you title it with an inside joke, like, how are you getting a new viewer?
Right.
Who in the world would click in? So I think giving that context, especially on YouTube, where like any video we've ever posted that got over 10,000 views, 80% is coming from unsubscribed people. So you got to think about it from that perspective.
So we would look at like 10 of those and be like, all right, instead of like J-Mo kills Gut in trivia, it's like, can you name every quarterback that's won the Super Bowl over the last 30 years? So we've been doing that more actively.
Anyone could go click that.
Right. And I've been thinking about that for my own content, especially for like Dynasty. If I'm making a new video for it, I'm like, fuck, I love both of these angles for packaging.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to think of a system for myself where I remind myself, because all the AB tools out there are terrible right now. Like, do I put a notification in my calendar that says like, this video after 2 weeks, like go change the title or something like that. Right. Do you guys do you have a process for experimenting?
Yeah, we discuss on every weekly call. We're normally just referring back to the most recent video. Do we want to change the thumbnail? Do we want to change the title? But we think about it weekly, and we'll test it even daily. Like I think we'll probably end up changing the thumb from our most recent video tomorrow. Because you get enough data. Our problem right now is our audience isn't big enough to have enough data, but on like Punchline, we get a decent amount of data, and if it goes up, it's successful. If not, swap it back, change title. But I think changing title, because for clips on Punchline, we'll never change the thumbnail for the like clippings. Right. And I've seen title changes take a video from.
I think title. I mean, I've said this before. I think titles are like 100 times more important than thumbnails when they work together. Obviously, it's super powerful, but I think the changing of the titles can go a super long way, and it's a really easy fix. You like the longer I've been in this game, it's like usually the simpler approach is the correct approach on most things.